And getting the 411 on some of their situations, man. I run across some pretty eclectic characters when I'm out doing this. So
yeah, I'll bet at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or whenever it was that you went out.
It was early, man. It was early.
But, you know, a lot of people, if you don't know Shiner, he'll lay down and he'll go to sleep. And when he wakes up, he's up.
And I'm usually up and I'm working. And if that's 2:30 in the morning, that's what we do. If it's 7 o'clock in the morning, I never sleep till 7. But I mean, if I'm up, if I open my eyes and it's 2, 3 in the morning, I start thinking, and then it's time to get up and get on the grind. So
yeah,
best for me to get some of this stuff done while it's fresh in my head, you know?
Yeah, not me. If I wake up at 2:30, I'm like, what the hell did you do to get up that early? And I'll lay right back down. Yeah. And I'll wait till the alarm goes off.
I was up early. When I sending you like links to music that I ran across or something this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm still trying to like get the sleepy out of my eyes. And you just ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding.
I'm like, dude, I feel like I should be eating lunch and it's only 6:15 in the morning.
Shit, he must know I'm awake. How? How does he know I'm awake? Oh, by the way, I found my GoPro.
Oh, I'm so, man, I knew I didn't have it.
I found my GoPro, and it was not in the trunk of the Buick.
No?
It was down at the bottom of a pile of just crap that I'd thrown into the back of my work van.
If you guys don't follow us online and see some of the video stuff that we do, you need to start, because this GoPro is going to open up a whole new door for us.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing was at the bottom of the pile, and how it got back there. I
can't believe we're just now starting to use GoPros. I mean, honestly, like,
oh yeah, we're last in line for everything, for everything. And speaking of which, you were last in line in the ER this morning.
Oh, let's get into this, man. This is okay. So let me preface this by saying I go to St. John's Medical Center Emergency Department an incredible amount. I mean, I'm there a lot.
And when I say a lot, 5 times a month is...
Yeah, I was going to say between 3 and 5 times a month.
Yeah.
And the thing that is almost always consistent, 95% of the time, well, probably like 98% of the time, I go during night shift. I usually end up in there between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. I have been in there a handful of times on day shift, and it never goes well when I go in on day shift. The people on night shift know me. They know exactly what it's going to take to straighten me out. And I hit the door. If I go in by ambulance, I get 125 milligrams of Solu-Medrol in the truck. They have 2 grams of mag waiting on me, and they have an hour-long breathing treatment that's a Duo Neb in the ER waiting on. So after I get all that stuff on board, I clear up and I go home. So it's pretty easy for those, you know, and they love it because they can get me in and out of you can use that bed more. And
you've got them to the point now where they'll just say, you know, if there's somebody new that's working there, a new doctor that comes in or something like that, just listen to him. And if he suggests something, do it because it works.
Well, the one thing, I mean, you and I both worked in the medical field.
Yeah.
And when I was in paramedic school, the one thing I remember them teaching me is if you encounter a patient that has a chronic condition, ask them what works for them. You know, I mean, and 9 times out of 10 go with that, being it's going to improve their situation.
Unless you come in with pain and you're asking for Demerol, you're probably not going to get Demerol. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, within reason,
right? But if you have gout and there's something that just works better than others, it's an old school gout remedy from years ago that most new doctors don't even use. You know, if that patient says that works, listen to them. For damn sure.
I go in there yesterday and day shift is on. I go in there and I between 4 and 5 p.m. So I already know. I'm literally at home trying to stick it out until night shift is coming on duty. I can't make it, so I got to go in there. So if you go into the ER, and the ER is packed, dude. I mean, it is packed with flu patients. So they take me, of course, I have a respiratory issue. They take me straight back to triage. Now, on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the worst asthma attack that's going to kill you, I'm sitting at about a good solid 8. So they get me back in the chair, and I immediately notice that the nurse in triage is flustered. And I'm like, oh, this isn't a good sign.
No, that's when you need your best foot forward, because that's when you know that's when the bosses are all there.
Well, so they're all, and other nurses keep peeking their head in and they're going, you got a line started. You got a line started. I don't have an IV yet. Now this nurse, I tell him, for some reason, my arms are very hard to start an IV on. My veins roll a lot. They blow, and there's always issues. But my hands are great. Like when I went to paramedic school, I was the dude everybody was because my hands are awesome.
Right.
So I tell her, I said, hey, my left hand is your easiest shot. So she grabs my hand, and instead of going like in the center of my hand, she picks a vein that's running basically from my first knuckle down behind my thumb. Okay. And she sticks this 20 gauge needle in there, and I can feel her hit the vein, and I'm like, okay, she's in, and she keeps pushing, and it goes through the other side of the vein, and then it starts pushing the skin like it's going to come out. It looks like one of those magic tricks that people do.
Oh, so your skin is like dimpled in?
No, it's pushing out towards me. And I'm waiting for, and immediately it blows, of course. Blood starts filling up underneath my skin. I go, oh, well, that's different. She pulls it out, and then she's all kinds of flustered. They finally get one started on the outside of my hand. Right. Now I got this huge blood bubble under my skin. So today I'm starting to get this really cool bruise from my first knuckle, and it runs about 40 degrees behind my thumb, and everything below it's turning blue. So now they're funny. So busy. They're so busy in the ER. They take me to a fast track room, which they've done before.
Right.
They sit me in there, put me on a breathing treatment. Now they've already talked about. They've ordered me 2 grams of MAG. An hour later, I still have not got the MAG, and this breathing treatment's done. The respiratory therapist comes in and tells me that since my breathing treatment is done, now I'm still wheezing so bad you can hear me from the hallway. I am to go out and wait in the waiting room where it's full of people with the flu.
Great idea.
And I'm like, what? So thankfully, I just happened to have a nurse with me.
Right.
And she's like, oh, hell no, he's not going out there. That's the worst decision ever. And you didn't even reassess him after this breathing treatment. So the respiratory therapist doesn't know that she's a nurse. She takes her stethoscope. I'm not joking you, dude. She puts it on one side of, she listens to both sides of my back, but she has the stethoscope just below, like on top of my shoulder blade.
Oh, and that gets your upper lobes. Nice.
Well, the second time, I didn't even take a breath. She just sat there and then pulled it off. I was like, how did you hear anything? Yeah. So this, all this, I tell them, I said, listen, when I was in here yesterday and they cut me loose, keep in mind, we have a whole bunch of residents.
Right.
They all just got out of school, so they think they know everything. So this doctor, he sends me out the door, and he says, I'm going to send you home with some prednisone. I said, here's the deal with that. They send me home for 5 days of 60 milligrams a day. So I can take 20 in the morning, 20 at noon, 20 in the evening. He comes back and hands me a prescription that's for 40 milligrams for 5 days. I said, this isn't going to work. He said, well, all the reading I've been doing, I said, I don't care about what you've been reading. I'm telling you. Well, he pulls the MD card on me and sends me out, and I end up back in there the next day.
Right.
So now when the doctors come in, new residents come in yesterday, and there's 2 of them. One of them looks like a character from The Simpsons. I swear to God, dude, straight out of The Simpsons. And I explained the situation to him, so he kind of does this bargaining thing where he's going to write me for some more prednisone so I can take 3 times a day. Then he starts to talk very demeaning to me and explains to me, well, if you're on more than this, then we're going to have to taper your doses. Blah, 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 blah. Starts giving me a lecture. I'm like, listen to me, bud. I don't need a dissertation on what you've read. Like, you got bigger problems than arguing with me. Like, let's push those glasses up off the end of your nose. Quit cutting that receding hairline so it looks like it does. It's kind of detracting from your childbearing hips. Leave me alone and just give me the medicine I need to keep me out of here. Dude, it was so bad that I can tell you now risk management is going to be no, because I was on a monitor that was not being centrally monitored. It was just one of those standalone monitors. Nobody knew, and I never saw after they knew I was mad, that we were angry, nobody ever came back in that room until night shift. And then they were like, Shiner. I mean, that's how much I'm in there. They call me by my nickname. They're like, Shiner, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. But oh man, you talk about a comedy of errors. Oh my God.
So basically, what you're saying is day shift can do what you originally said that Johnny Simo and Todd on the Toddcast repeated, and now you're saying it again. They can go eat a dick.
Eat a dick. Like, I mean, I'm actually as many years as I've been there, moving ER because it was too dicey. Like that's I don't fear a lot of things in my life, but I do fear walking in the doors of that ER and never.
Yeah. Yeah, and the worst part about it is Vegas Odds has you at you're 5 to 3 on night shift and you're 4 to 1 on day shift.
Right.
So
yeah, man. It was, man. It
crazy.
Wasn't pretty, man. I thought I was going to get it. I was bad, man. This doesn't have to go this way.
I don't know why I'm apologizing because I don't even work there. But man, I'm sorry you're having to go through that because you know what works. It works almost every time, and if there's a time that you say, okay, give me 2 grams of mag, and it doesn't work, okay, now it's time to worry.
Yeah, well, that 2 grams of mag for me, like I mean, I've literally been in there so bad I can't speak.
And for everybody out there that doesn't know, mag is magnesium citrate, IV fluid.
They've brought me in by ambulance. I can't talk, and they literally are laying me down, opening packages up to intubate me. And thankfully, a nurse was like, whoa, that's Shiner. If we hit him with mag, he's going to clear up. Get on the horn to the pharmacy. Let's get mag down here. And they do. And it's amazing. Within 7 to 10 minutes, I can talk. I'm breathing at a normal rate. I mean, it's a magic drug for me in acute situations.
See, and that's another thing that bothers me a little bit is I realize it's for control and being accurate and all that mess, but back in the day, especially in the back of an ambulance or whatever, you want mag citrate, you pop the top, you inject a little fluid in it, you pull out the magnesium, you squirt it into an IV bag and you run it. And now you got to get the stuff from the pharmacy.
Well, they changed that. It's funny you brought that up because the telltale sign if it comes from the pharmacy apparently is if it has a label, a sticker on the front of it.
Right.
And if it doesn't, it came out of their Pyxis. Well, last night we noticed it did not have a sticker on it. So now they've moved to keeping it in the Pyxis. I may have had something to do with that.
Perhaps.
But now they have it on hand there, so I don't have to. Used to, it'd be a good 10-minute wait.
Yeah. Again, that's time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get it in touch with the pharmacy. You actually got to send so pharmacy won't do shit without an order.
Right.
So they've got
10 minutes when you can't breathe is a
lifetime.
Long time, dude. I mean,
literally could be a lifetime.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It is. It's brutal. 10 minutes and not being able to breathe is very brutal.
And again, for everybody who feels like they, 10 minutes is not a long time. Go get a couple of coffee straws, seal your lips around them, and try to breathe for 10 minutes.
Yeah, see how that treats you. First, run around the block as hard as you can.
Yeah,
and then do it.
Get winded and then do it.
But yeah, man. So I know there's people, there's individuals from the crew of the night shift at the ED at St. John's that listen to us. There's medics from the trucks that listen to us.
And thank you guys for what you do. We do not slam you one bit because we talk about the night crew off the podcast a lot. And
literal lifesavers, dude.
Frankly, I'd like to hang around some of you sons of bitches. So
I love when they take care of me. They take great care of everything you. But that day shift, you guys can eat a dick because you guys, man. I hope the night shift tells you I said that too because that was unacceptable, man. You guys are going to kill somebody if you
look over there. Donnie's
probably have.
Donnie's peeing his pants behind the booth. He's laughing so hard to eat a dick thing. Sometimes we forget Donnie's in there, and I just have to look up, and he's bent over laughing.
He just popped the top on the beer and cheered me.
By the way, Donnie, that mullet is looking better and better and better. If I could grow hair as quick as you grow hair, I'd be happy.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks, man. In 3 more, it's going to be epic.
Holy crap. I saw that you trimmed the beard down, by the way.
I did, man. I did. And actually, I took a big hunk out of one side of it. I'm kind of stressing about it. Yeah, I don't know. I've grown it out a lot. I missed the boat this year because usually at the very end of the summer, kind of the end of summer, I quit trimming it. It just grows out long in the winter. This year, well, it wasn't jiving with me, man. I just wasn't feeling it this year.
Now you didn't start growing till